still internally freaked out over the fact I, did a little damage to this vehicle. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, I don't have breakfast. I don't. If Gypsy gets out, she grabs her 2 suitcases because she had both detectors with her, all of her gear, all of everything we brought for Treasure Vortex and Zero Discrimination. She gets out, and at this point, I've stepped out, and I'm still like I stumbling over my words, and one guy turns to her and goes, "You sure packed a lot of shoes." Like, she
He
looks.
thinks that me and my 2 big suitcases that I'm pulling out of the bag. He goes, "What are you doing back there? Are you hiding?" And I said, "No, I'm getting my big suitcases out." And he goes, "Oh, what did you do? Pack a lot of shoes?" I'm like, "No, metal detectors."
Yeah. So then here it
They're
is.
looking at us like,
Yeah.
"What?"
Both guys are looking at us. Where's our breakfast? Why did you pack so many shoes? What are metal detectors? And yeah, it was an adventure in itself, the rental car adventure.
I
But
have to say it was quite comical because inside I could tell, because I know Amanda well enough now. I can read her pretty well. And I could tell she was literally dying inside because she was panicked, number one. And then that totally caught her off guard with these guys saying, "Hey, bring me breakfast." But I'd already hopped out of the car. I was in the back, and I heard a little bit of the conversation, but I really wasn't paying attention. I was getting my bags out. And then finally when I come around there, and they start talking to me, talking about my big suitcases, what to do, bring a lot of shoes. And anyway, it was funny. So after we got left there, we're walking. I won't even tell them what you saw.
well, no. She was saying, "Stay positive, things will work out." And I looked at her and I'm like, it's all well and good to try to stay positive, but you have no control over how other people treat you, talk to you, and what they say to you. I'm like, so being positive is all well and good. But yeah, the internal worry in me is just, yeah.
Yeah. And I used to be a worrywart, so I would worry and I would hash out all the different scenarios in my brain. And usually they were worst case scenarios too.
Yep.
And I finally broke myself of that habit. And it took me a while, but now that I've done that, I notice I usually have a much more positive my more of a positive manifesting, I should say. But it's funny because I was telling her and trying to reassure her that everything was going to be okay. And then so after we'd gone, we were about to head into the airport, she stopped, and we're finally about to head into the doors, and I just could not. I just busted out laughing. I laughed so hard because I just found it so comical because I could tell she was finally letting it go and finally realizing that everything's okay. But yet, she was just dying inside. I was so worried. And I just couldn't help it. I laughed and laughed and laughed.
Yep.
So I apologize for laughing.
You did.
So hard.
Yep. She did. I thought she was going to fall right over laughing so hard.
It was comical to me because I knew everything would be all right. But anyway, it was fun. It was a fun adventure. Just that alone was fun.
Yeah, it's for you. It was fun for you.
No, I didn't have to drive. So I would have been driving. I would have probably been a lot more worried as well. But yeah, Amanda's a trooper.
Yeah. So the hunt. I mean, I know you've been to seated hunts. I've been to seated hunts. And anybody who's listening that does not know what a seated hunt is, it's where you're given an acreage or field or anything, a park, and they go out and they actually bury coins and relics or other things of that sort. So this was there were 4 events. and one of them was strictly for the kids. So technically, there were three events for adults to detect. And I mean, I thought it was really fun. It was a lot of fun.
It really was. For me, I decided I found out there was a creek there. So my thing was I wanted to go play in the creek and see if I could find something really cool that had washed down there. And then I also found out that they find gold flakes in the creek when they go pan and dredge and stuff. So I was wishing I would have had brought, some gold pans.
Yeah.
Because that would have been really cool to bring back some gold and stuff. Speaking of gold, we'll have to talk about that in a minute. That's another comical moment, we should say. But, yeah, we did both find some natural finds, though, out in the field. There was an old, what they say, Amish or...
Yep, I think it was Amish.
Homestead there, and Amanda found part of a pocket knife from there, and I found an old bucket and ball and an old iron buckle as well that was a natural find. But more than anything, I just kind of played in the creek a couple times, got Amanda down there. She played in the creek some.
Yeah.
And,
well, the second time down to the creek, after hearing about the snake that was down there the prior year, going up somebody's pant leg, I was like, yeah, nope, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
I had my snake boots on.
Yes, you did.
Well, they're not really snake boots, but they are very thick leather boots, and I wear them kind of as my snake boots because I think they're just as thick, if not thicker than my snake boots. So I had those on, but I didn't really want to get them wet, but I did get them a lot wet from the creek. I really wasn't prepared to talk in the water, but it would have been fun. But I had my rubber boots on.
Yeah, and it was one of those things right before leaving. I'm like, I should bring my mud boots and blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, nah, no room. But it was a lot of fun. I know Mike Fuson is in chat right now. He came down to the creek with us the second time. And then we met another treasure hunter, Ryan Chick, and he came down and I was down there scraping the rocks and trying to find, flint or trade bead, so I kept handing these specimens that I was finding to Mike and going, is this? And he's like, oh yeah, that could be. And then I was like, I found a bead. And he's like, oh, how did you see that? And then Ryan came down and I was like, look at the trade bead I found. And he goes, that's fish vertebrae. He goes, but it could have been used as a bead. Then I was like, well, what do you think about this rock? And he's like, nope. I'm like, oh. I was joking around. I'm like, you're a bubble popper. Here I was so excited. But
yeah, Ryan came down the creek where I was, because you were staying over there by the shore, and I was metal detecting along the edge there. And Ryan came over there. And he goes, yeah, Amanda just tipped me away because I was a bubble popper. I was popping all of her bubbles. She would find something, and I'd have to tell her it wasn't an Indian or artifact. It was funny. But it was fun, though, playing down by the creek, too. And for me, the most fun part, and I'm sure it was for you as well, was getting to hang out with friends. Some of these people we've known a long time, via social media. One like Mike especially, and others that we've met. I met several that have been following me since I started my YouTube channel that I've never met in person, and that was just such a treat to talk to those people and people that say, hey, I listen to y'all on the podcast. We also gained some definitely new listeners as well.
Yeah, some new
From the
followers.
people so that are said that they would listen and share the podcast with friends. So even on the plane, I don't meet a stranger, so I gave out some cards and stickers.
Yeah, Gypsy and I, when it comes to that type of thing, we did realize we are both very different. She is a natural chatty Cathy, and I guess I am not so much. I am a stranger danger.
Yeah. So I'm constantly, blah, 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 metal detecting, metal detecting, metal detecting. Yeah. There was a meme the other day that my friend had posted about them and their obsession with pumpkins, about this time of year, and how their kidnapper would set them free and kick them out because they wouldn't stop talking about pumpkins. For me, it would be about metal detecting and treasure hunting, so they would not want to keep me. So the stranger danger work on me because they wouldn't keep me long because I'm totally obsessed. So anyway.
Yeah. For those of us joining us a little bit late, Gypsy is the traveling Gypsy right now. She's still on her way back home. No, she's not driving from Indiana, but she is driving. So if you hear the background noise, that's just, it's just her traveling. Traveling.
So we've been talking about the seated hunt in Indiana that we went to this weekend, and we really did. They gave away some really amazing prizes with the raffles. You won. What did you end up winning?
I won a copper round, a copper prospecting round, which was pretty neat. And so a certain someone texted me earlier and said was like, nope, I'm going to actually say it word for word here. Make sure you check your ticket numbers because it could be worth gold. So for those that don't or weren't there and don't know, all right, so there is this amazing way that they do raffle tickets. So you don't just go over and spend $5 to get 6 tickets or anything like that. You spend it's either $5 for 1 puck or $20 for 5 pucks, and you play plinko, and underneath at the bottom is, a 50, 20, 25, 5, 10, and it's the number of raffle tickets you get. And it was so much fun to play. It was just so much fun. So Gypsy and I both did that, and we got a whole bunch of raffle tickets. Yep. And they had seriously amazing raffle prizes. Gold nuggets, sterling silver metal detector pendant, a sterling silver metal detecting pin, like for your hat and stuff. What else? A sluice, a pocket. A scoop, a pocket sluice.
Lots of shovels too. Predator tools.
It was awesome. Yeah, so many different things. It just kept going on, and not just like one gold nugget, but multiple. So she had won a scoop, and I had won a copper round, and a number comes up, and she looks at me. She goes, "That's you," and I'm looking. I'm like, I don't think so.
I could have swore that our numbers were very close.
Yeah, because
we had played the Planko, whatever you call it, right one right. I think she played right after me. So right after